not only have life eternal, but you will sit with the saints among the elect. Come. It is time to keep your appointment with the Wicker Man.
So 1973's infamous The Wicker Man regularly appears on those greatest horrors of all time lists, despite being nothing like a horror film really, or certainly not one in the traditional sense, being without jump scares, gore or a foreboding soundtrack. It's actually a straight up murder mystery / police investigation movie. The fact that it is discussed among the great horrors is testament to not only its legend and that ending, but to the strength of its storytelling. Being as it's one of cinema's great exercises in mounting tension, it takes an eerie atmosphere and fuses it with just plain weird, and creates something totally strange, very unsettling and unique. Let's take a look. Now, a quick mention that for this video I'll be discussing the so-called final cut of the movie, as this film has a quite interesting history that I'll discuss in a few minutes. But regardless of the version that you've seen or may watch, it's the story of a deeply religious-minded Scottish policeman, Sergeant Howie, played here by Edward Woodward, arriving by plane on an island to investigate the disappearance of a young girl, the daughter of the woman who runs the local sweet shop. Now, bafflingly, nobody he meets recognises the photo of the girl he's been sent. And as he continues his inquiries, things begin to take a turn for the surreal, and the frustrated sergeant soon finds a sinister, pagan-flavoured layer to the community hidden just below the surface. Now, for me, this is Edward Woodward's finest hour. Here he was fresh off his TV show Callan, and he's excellent as the straight-laced lawman who, for a long time, seems to be the only person taking the disappearance of a girl named Rowan Morrison seriously. Seeing him continually being hindered at every turn in his investigation is great. Better still is seeing his God-fearing reactions to the islanders' unique customs. You see, up there on Summerisle, the inhabitants, led by the creepy music-loving Lord Summerisle, here played by the immortal Christopher Lee, are still practising the old druidic rites. Boys dance around phallic maypoles, girls dance naked over fire, midnight orgies take place outside his hotel. And just when we, the audience, along with the end of his tether police sergeant, can't take any more of this bizarre island, the cheerfully boorish Lord Summerisle turns up to explain how the entire society there is centred on the concept of fertility and appeasing the sun god, so as to guarantee a good crop of the famous Summerisle apples.
Your lordship seems strangely unconcerned.
I'm confident your suspicions are wrong, Sergeant. We don't commit murder up here. We're a deeply religious people.
And this is where I pretty much have to stop in terms of plot specifics to avoid spoilers for anyone who hasn't already seen The Wicker Man. You see, Officer Howie becomes convinced that Rowan Morrison has been kidnapped to await pagan sacrifice on May Day. If only it was that simple. Now, interestingly, for a Scottish island, there doesn't seem to be many Scottish people living on it. The local school teacher, played by Diane Salento, struggles through a Scottish accent.
It is the image of the penis, which is venerated in religions such as ours, as symbolizing the generative force in nature. Oh, can I help you?
Hammer icon Ingrid Pitt doesn't really bother with one, and neither does Sir Christopher Lee, and unfortunately the stunning Britt Eckland is distractingly dubbed over throughout.
Broad beams in their natural state aren't usually turquoise, are they?
Some things in their natural state have the most vivid colours. Now, I wondered what you'd be wanting for afters.
Now, that being said, there's no doubt The Wicker Man features some excellent acting talent. Over the years, it's grown in reputation from a minor and pretty throwaway British horror to possibly the biggest cult film that the UK has ever made. Now, the film's structure reminds me of that same year's Don't Look Now, which is historically interesting as this film was originally slotted in as a support feature to Nicholas Roeg's film, with everything in the story leading up to a chilling punchline as the playful high spirits of the island inhabitants start to give way and are eventually shown to be masking more sinister intentions. Before that, though, some of the Wicker Man's strengths lie in its battle between Officer Howie's boring Presbyterian Christianity and the island's colourful, fun-loving paganism. Although there's a sour centre to proceedings, you have to admit that all the naked dancing, prancing and singing is initially more alluring. And speaking of which, The Wicker Man is actually secretly a musical, with a handful of folk songs scattered about just to trick us all into having a good time.
Ale, it is lively and strong to the taste. Fate is brewed with discretion, never with haste.
You can have all you like if you swear not to waste.
The landlord's daughter.
And speaking of good times, there's a great scene where Britt Eckland's character teases and taunts poor Edward Woodward through his bedroom wall, her frank and carefree sexuality almost being too much for his chastity.
At midnight.
Now, like I mentioned, the great thing about the film is watching the poor police sergeant's jaw continually hit the floor as he witnesses the pagan frivolities unfold around him. Woodward plays it brilliantly. A favourite and pivotal scene between Lee and Woodward either make compelling arguments for each religion or completely debunk both.
You've got fake biology, fake religion. Sir, have these children never heard of Jesus?
Himself the son of a virgin, impregnated, I believe, by a ghost.
Now, although Sir Christopher Lee doesn't feature in a great deal of the film, his shadow falls over the whole movie. Before he arrives on screen, he's spoken about as the Lord and the Law of the island. And well, it's Christopher Lee, so when he is on screen, he doesn't disappoint, effortlessly switching between that playful grin and a far more solemn demeanour as he takes the film right through to its ruthless conclusion.
For catching and flogging is his delight.
I found that in Rowan Morrison's grave.
Now, The Wicker Man was directed by late writer, director, producer, actor Robin Hardy, who I didn't realise only made 3 feature films, including 2011's sort of sequel, The Wicker Tree, that I haven't actually seen. Now, unfortunately, this film's legend is so well known now that if you've never seen it before, you probably know the ending, as television clip shows repeatedly give it away, and even the poster and home video releases are illustrated by the climactic image. But there was a time when UK film studio British Lion hated the film they just financed, so much so that they chopped it down to its bare bones and threw it into cinemas as a B-movie. The original negative lost or destroyed and buried beneath the M3 motorway, if you believe Sir Christopher Lee's conspiracy theories. Now, luckily for us, a print had already been sent to famous American B-movie producer Roger Corman, and thus began the battle to restore it to its original form, or as close as possible. Now, The Wicker Man's shifting tones and pagan iconography might not be for everyone, and if you're expecting blood and guts, you're probably barking up the wrong maypole. I almost wasn't going to mention the 2006 Nicolas Cage remake, but if you've made it this far into the video, then let me politely suggest that you never watch it, and instead watch the unique, bonkers, brilliant, spine-chilling original instead. Go check it out.